Let's get to hear some more on this one. I'm being joined by a sitting member of the House of Representatives and an aspirant in that contest, Honorable Femi Bamisile. Thank you so much, Honorable, for coming tonight.
Sure, it's a pleasure.
Let me get your view. We heard from Claudio Joe. We've heard from Biodun Yebanji. You ran in the race. Are you one of those who, obviously, one of the seven that is aggrieved of about this exercise?
Yes, I'm one of the aspirants that contested the elections yesterday.
Are you one of the people that are aggrieved?
Without a shadow of doubt, I wouldn't be in the station if I wasn't aggrieved.
You might be here to support Biodun Yebanji.
Oh.
It might be you trying to say, oh, let's move forward, is our candidate.
No, the party will move forward, but I mean, we have to do things rightly. That's the basic thing.
You don't think things were done rightly?
It wasn't done rightly. It was not.
No, so let's break it down. So for people to understand.
Thank you.
So what is it that was not done rightly?
Thank you. We had a meeting 2 days ago by the officiating minister in the person of the governor of Jigawa State. And he explained to us, without a doubt, all the things that were necessary for everyone to do. And there were basic questions that were raised at that meeting. I remember I asked some basic questions, and other aspirants did. And one very vital question that was posed to us, he brought up an idea of putting the electoral documents, which are the result sheets. That's very vital in any election. Those are the result sheets that brings the results back to the center, collation center. And he said, would we prefer that the result sheets were duplicated and handed over to the electoral officers? Number one, when we were told the electoral officers were picked from amongst those who are in government, serving members of Dr. Femi administration, House of Assembly members were electoral officers. One barrister from Ekiti local government, I can remember clearly. The former deputy chairman of the party was the returning officer of our local government, Oye. This lady came. Unfortunately, I'm not here with pictorial evidences, but all these things have been put together because we'll be putting this in front of the courts.
So you're already going to court?
Oh, without a shadow of doubt, my brother. Without a shadow of doubt.
I mean, you're not seeking the internal mechanism.
We have looked at that. One thing you need to understand in democracy, I've been in this game for a while now, 20 years. I contested the last elections with Dr. Femi. This was one of the things we went through. But we understood the fact that it was a man trying to seek for a second term. And by the time he exits, then it gives the opportunity for others to actually take leadership within the state. But for this kind of robbery that happened yesterday, we're not going to take it sitting down like that. It won't work. I've been in this game for a while. I've served as the Speaker of the House of Assembly in the state. I've served virtually all the governors in very strategic positions in the state. I'm now presently a member of the House of Reps. So if we don't speak the voice of the people and allow for this kind of charade to continue in the democracy of this country, we're not going anywhere.
Have you spoken to Governor Femi on this matter?
I have not spoken with him.
No, because, I mean, the reason why I'm saying that is, I mean, people talk. And they say,
in politics, yes, in politics we talk, without a doubt.
No, I'm saying that people talk. I mean, there are stories around that. In fact, he was the one instrumental to you getting into the house. You got a ticket into the house yes. on a silver platter.
Without a shadow of doubt, yeah, I will narrate that to you.
Yeah, so I mean, the question is whether or not, I mean, you had a conversation you wanted to run, and whether or not you had his blessing, and whether or not you are popular on the ground. These are some of the questions that were raised.
Thank you, Sheung. Let me let us back into a bit of history. In 2014, when he lost the elections to Fayose, Governor Fayose then, he left the state when he had an appointment to go for as Minister of Mines in Abuja. I took the party for 3.5 years, funded the party, moving around the 177 wards, 4 times around, 16 local government for 3.5 years. 27 days to primaries, Dr. Femi came and said he wanted to contest the elections. We were all ruffled because we already asked him, were you going to contest? Equally looking at an opportunity for him to do his second term, which he said he wasn't. But at the end of the day, he came, the elections were done, and at the end of the day, he won the primaries. We all supported. Then we had 33 aspirants. We all supported him. He came to my residence the next morning and made it crystal clear to him that, Femi, you've did the party well. you supported the party and you held it for 3.5 years, without a doubt. If it wasn't for you, there was no way we could win elections. And he said, you would have the ticket for the House of Reps uncontested. So I was being blessed with the handwork of what I did. So when
it wasn't a favor from Femi.
When you say
Governor
a favor,
Femi.
when you say a favor based on my hard work for the party.
So he doled out to you?
Yes, the ticket of the House of Reps. So there's no way they could have won elections in that state.
Without you?
Not without me, by the grace of God. But I was a major factor in that elections.
Well, at some point you left the party and you came back.
I didn't leave the party. I was in APC.
You've been in APC all along?
No. I started with AED when I came back from the US. I became a member of the House of Assembly in the state as a PDP man. When it was 2 days to the governorship election, I jettisoned PDP as the deputy chairman and joined the party, even knowing that we were going to lose the elections, because Fauci wasn't straight with us in PDP then.
So, I mean, let me ask you, because we're hearing stories now, for some people who are thinking of alternatives. For you, is this the end of the road in terms of wanting to be governor?
No, it's not. We're still in this. We're going to fight this till the end. That's why I say to you, Biodun Yebanji, I don't have an issue with him. It's the process. Okay. He's the brother back in the state.
So what issue do you have with the governor?
I don't have an issue with the governor. It's the process.
The allegation is that he manipulated. That's the allegation.
The system manipulated. It was
against you,
obviously, against the 7 of us.
Okay, so let me ask some very critical questions here, so that we take, because I've spoken with Governor Badaro, and he has made some explanations, which I would like you to answer to some of those explanations.
Yes.
Was there a meeting on the eve of the election?
There was. I just told you.
All right, absolutely. No, I just wanted for Nigerians to get it.
That's
you
right.
know, what we do it right on this program, politics could be very cumbersome, complicated, and very convoluted, but we try to break it down.
No doubt.
Because it's like mathematics, the figures might be confusing,
Right.
but we like to break it down. Anyway, politics is science. So the issue here is there was a meeting on the eve of the election.
Right.
At that meeting, the major issue from the aspirant was that there were no proper representation from all of you in terms of the officials,
Having our people
officials from
in the
election.
electoral office. That's right.
So what was the proposition of Governor Badaro?
Badaro said to us we should bring 2020.
Did you provide yours?
We surely did. But don't forget, the simple arithmetic to that is there are 16 local, so 177 wards times 3 electoral officers. If you do that sum up, that gives you 531. And with 7 of us, we're asked to bring 20, that's 140. That still gives room to about almost 340-something units or wards that could be manipulated.
Did you make the calculation at the time?
We sure did.
So, I mean, because...
And at that point...
The tape that I watched, Honorable Bamisile, was the tape when, in fact, some of you even gave vote of thanks after the event.
Yes.
Showing that you were happy with the process.
Because it was agreed that we would bring 20 each. And we gave that sum up almost immediately in the meeting. And at the end of the day, the issue here now is the papers for return of results, which is the most vital document, which is the result sheet, was given out to the electoral officers that same night. The originals. They took them home to their places. A lot could have been done to those documents. So we're going to have the elections the next morning, and the result sheets of the elections were already given out to the electoral officers, who are supporters of the so-called candidate.
Wait,
now.
Did you raise this point?
We didn't know that because we had left the meeting.
So you feel you were played?
We were naturally played out. And that was why we woke up in the morning.
Were any of your men that you donated or you contributed to the process, did they point that out to you?
They pointed out.
Did they get the materials too?
No, right about 12 o'clock, they called us and said to us that the training, there was no training. All they were just doing was telling them that these are the electoral officers, the ones that the party naturally at the state had proposed. And they gave those documents to them. So those boys were helpless. There was nothing they could do. They started calling us at 12 in the morning, 12 a.m. And all we could do was to call the chairman and the secretary. Those who got in touch with the chairman, they asked for a meeting for 9 o'clock. Behold, when it was 7:30 in the morning and everybody was rushing to the party secretariat, they called the chairman. The chairman said clearly to us he wasn't going to honor our meeting again because we had already put up a document that was flying around that the election was going to be manipulated. What was wrong?
Was it going to be easy for someone who is conducting an election to have another meeting when he has had a meeting the night before?
He already told us,
he
gave the time at 9 o'clock that we're going to meet for 9.
Again?
Yes.
In the morning of
In
the
the
election?
morning, yes.
So he didn't meet with you?
He did not. He bluntly told us that we have to just go for the elections and forgo the whole thing. It doesn't matter what we do. So this is our party.
What do you make out of that?
Fraud.
On which side?
From the side of the umpire. Intent.
You're saying this categorically?
Without a shadow of doubt.
That's a governor. That's
my brother.
No. The reason I'm saying is that the integrity of this man is.
Let us come out of this now. What do you mean that's a governor? He's a Nigerian. He was elected into office. He was a man before a governor.
You know the assumption.
What is the assumption?
That you are
I'm a member.
Just that you're a government as you're sitting.
Yes.
You're a member. You're a lawmaker.
That's right.
So when we assume.
So if I do wrong.
Just a moment. That one assume the trust that Honorable Bamisile, who is member of government.
Don't governors betray.
So you say that he committed fraud. I'm asking.
Governors
could he have done that?
Listen. Don't governors betray the authority given to them? Haven't you seen governors being put to jail for fraud? I'm asking the question. We are all Nigerians. This is the problem we all have in Nigerian democracy and humans in this country. We need to say it the way it is.
And so what exactly is the way it is?
Simple.
In Ekiti?
We are all human. And don't let us make people God. They're not mini gods. They were elected into office. It doesn't matter if they got what you call immunity on them. It's for a time and a process, a season. That's what I'm saying. So the man came with an intent to actually rob the entire state. And he robbed us clean.
Because the way I saw that was this situation was described again was that maybe some of those whom you think got the benefit of this exercise were smarter than some of you, and they played you, politically speaking.
Okay, if you think that's the issue, that is very, very unfair. What do you mean play us in politics?
So the question is that you either win or you lose. And
we all know that.
If sometimes, if the winner gets the mathematics right, because this is all about numbers.
I've contested elections severally in this country. I've contested to go to the House of Assembly, I lost. I didn't go fighting. I've contested to go to the House of Reps, I lost. I've won elections. I want to become the member of the House of Assembly. I was the Speaker in the House of Assembly. I contested to win, and never have I been taken to court before. So for me as a person, it's not about a bad loser or a sole loser. No, not at all. It's about the process. That's what we're talking about here. If we allow for this to go, this happened in Anambra State. That's why we lost the way we did in Anambra. The primaries of Anambra, they came up with about 300 or 240-something thousand votes. Are you going to tell me, as a sitting member of the House of Reps, you allotted to me 400 votes? My ward has close to about 400 to 500 voter registration. If they're going to cheat nicely, if these people were smart enough to cheat nicely, they would have given my local government to me and given other aspirants local government and could have robbed us in other local government. But if you look at the charade that is there, you're telling a man who came from Oye that he has only 3 votes. What are you saying? So this really doesn't make sense.
How much of effort did you put into this?
Into the elections, my brother.
In terms of campaign?
You can ask this question.
How many times did you go around your ward?
I went around about almost twice, and I did the largest, and I mean, obviously it must have been shown on TV in channels. My followership in Ekiti is unimaginable when it comes to grassroots politics. I make bold to say this. It's best the party corrects this anomaly. If they don't, we're going to meet at the election.
There's no way the party can correct it, because today is the deadline. They have to submit the names of the candidates tomorrow.
Sheung, there are ways we work in party. And if they want to damn the consequences, so be it.
You want to dare your party?
Sheung, it's not a threat, it's a prophecy. If they want to damn the consequences and make bold to say this on national television, we can go out with it.
That you are going to lose or win?
I don't know. It's not a threat, it's a prophecy.
Because Fayose is solidly behind the other candidate.
I'm not talking, I don't even see what it is.
No, I'm even saying Bisi Kolawole is the candidate of the PDP.
I don't see, but
the question is that
Bisi Kolawole too, coincidentally, at the point in time, was one of my members in the House of Assembly when I was the Speaker. So we're not strangers to ourselves.
So if you have fears and concerns about what is happening internally in your party,
yes,
you probably are thinking that the opposition might do better.
I don't know. I just got a vote.
What is your biggest fear about what is happening in your party?
They had better change their mind.
Or what?
I don't know.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen if nothing?
The worst that could happen is the party would lose an election.
Even with a Femi on seat as a sitting
Doesn't
governor?
matter. Wasn't Fayose governor of the state when he lost? Wasn't Femi the governor of the state when Fayose won him?
How do you think the party, I mean, from your own point of view, you are definitely aggrieved. And we thought that some of you are meeting, you came to Abuja to meet with the leadership of the party.
That's
Were
right.
you successful in doing that?
We've not seen the national chairman, and I think everybody has decided on what they wanted to do. But at least I've met every single process that was meant to do, we've done. A petition has been put in, we're going to court.
Petition to the party?
That's right, to the party and the court.
So you filed a suit already?
That's right.
To the court?
That's right.
So what are you aiming to get out of that?
To stop the entire process.
Is that not too late?
That's
the question.
There's so many
it's
things
based
that
on
could
the
happen.
schedule and the calendar.
There's so many things that could happen in the party.
You think you could still be the candidate of your party?
I hope the party rethinks.
You think you're a better candidate or you're a best man for the job?
I'm not talking about better or best man. We're talking about the process.
No, I'm asking now. You think that you have been robbed in this exercise?
Without a doubt.
So you think that you want to be governor of Ekiti? No, it's not as if you think. You want to be governor of Ekiti State.
If I didn't want to be governor, I wouldn't be running the election.
So the question is that you think that you're the best man to be the governor of Ekiti
That's what
State?
I've just said to you now, Sheon. It's not about being the best man or the best person to run for the state. It's about the process. Let the people determine. I simply define democracy, government of the people, by the people, for the people. Allowing the people to determine the process in a free contest.
On a final note, Honorable Bamisile, Governor Femi is your leader in Ekiti State.
No doubt.
And you've not been able to speak with him.
I've not.
I assume that he's watching right now.
I would love for him to see
What would
me.
you say to him now?
And Mr. Governor, it's an opportunity for you to do what is right.
What would you say to the candidate too?
I don't have an issue with the candidate. Sincerely, I don't.
What do you have the issue with?
The process.
All right. Honorable Bamisile, thank you so much for coming tonight. And I will hope that you're able to resolve this internally in your party so that things don't escalate. I know you to be a gentleman.
I am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate your coming. Let's take a break, everyone. And when we return, Governor Muhammad Abubakar Badaru, who was the chairman of the APC governorship primary election, will be reacting to some of the issues raised by the aggrieved members, especially by Honorable Bamisile. Join us again, everyone, who hear the Badaru side of the story. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Primary. I signed off Honorable Bamisile earlier, but I changed my mind to say he should wait for 30 seconds because I wanted to get to hear his view on what the governor said. Honorable Bamisile.
Yes.
Let me get your view.
Thank you. You clearly heard some admittance from the governor himself by saying some people have benefited from the party, so it should be the turn of others and all that. He said it clearly at the program. So in other words, what they were saying, because this allegation has come for a while, that the governor had a particular interest in the same aspirant who has now become candidate of the party. Has it not come to fore now? This has been on for over a month and a half, and the governor continuously denied it. And it has come to play out. So Governor Badaru has ascertained that by saying some people get benefits now and some should get at the end of the day. That's one. Two, most importantly, he said he gave us, and I told you here, I never even knew he had an interview before me. He said he gave 2020, which was a fact without a doubt. But I just told you a simple arithmetic here now. 2020 into 177 gives you 531. And if you, three times 177, 3 per local government, times per ward, times 177, gives you 531. And if you say you've given 7 aspirants, 2020, that's 140. If you take 140 of 531, you're still left with about 300 and something. So in those 300 and something words, or 200 and some change words, what happens there? And the most important part, what I told you, that he has never been able to answer, is they gave the result sheet a night before the election.
So he said something on the final note.
Yes.
That you're going to come together no matter what. Are you willing to sheath your sword and come together?
if they're willing to do the right things. It's the process.
All right.
Sheung, I just told you, it's just the process.
Honorable Bamisile, thank you so much. I wanted to give you the benefit of doubt to be able to at least react to what he said. Thank you so much.